Hey there, my name is Sarah. I am losing my voice because there's all of these forest fires around me and everything is smoky and it's not terrifying at all. So in light of my, breaking up voice, I thought that it might be a perfect time to do my BookTube-A-Thon TBR, right? Because who cares if you can hear me? So if you're not familiar with the BookTube-A-Thon, it's hosted by Ariel Bissett, and I will leave links to everything you need to know in the description. I wasn't totally sure if I was going to do the BookTube-A-Thon this year because, on the one hand, I'm super excited about it because, obviously I'm brand new to BookTube, so this is my first chance to ever, try this out. But on the other hand, I start a full-time job tomorrow, actually, and I'm not sure with working full-time and school how much I'm actually going to be able to read. I mean, having said that, I look at, my years doing NaNoWriMo, and the only years that I've won have been the years where I've been super busy, because apparently the only time I get anything done is when I'm already drowning in work. So I don't know, maybe that bodes well. Maybe I'm going to read a ton and this is going to be spectacular. Maybe I'm deluding myself. We'll see. Anyway, there are a bunch of challenges associated with the BookTube-A-Thon and with picking out your TBR, so I'm going to go through those right now. One of the challenges is to read a book about something that you want to do, and for a good part of my life I have wanted to run a marathon, which is so laughable because sometimes I will get winded going up a flight of stairs too fast. So not really a realistic goal, but still, it's been something for years that I've been oh, I should get my act together and get more in shape and start training for a marathon or a half marathon or something like that. So anyway, that is something I'd like to do, and in light of that, I decided to pick The Illegal by Lawrence Hill for this challenge. I've read some of Lawrence Hill's nonfiction books and I loved them. I haven't actually picked up any of his fiction, which is kind of embarrassing to admit. I feel like I'm probably the last Canadian who has not read The Illegal or The Book of Negroes, but we are going to try to change that. Another challenge is to read and watch a book-to-movie adaptation, and I had a really hard time coming up with something for this one because, I don't know, I'm not a movie person. Give me a TV show any day, but with movies, it's very rare that I find one that I actually want to watch, and so far, all of the book-to-movie adaptations that I have wanted to watch that have come out so far, I have already watched. So I thought that instead I would kind of flip this on its head and do the reverse, because there is a documentary that I want to watch called How to Survive a Plague, which is all about AIDS science and activism. And the documentary then kind of led to this book by David France, also called How to Survive a Plague. So I guess I might as well watch the documentary and read the book. Another challenge is to read a book with green on the cover, and I will be reading The 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo by Taylor Jenkins Reid. I know next to nothing about this book apart from that a lot of people seem to love it, so I'm kind of excited. Another challenge is to read a book while wearing the same hat the whole time, and I'm going to have to dig through my closet and find a hat that's not a knitted winter toque thing, because I do not want to die of heat in this weather. So I don't have the hat yet, but I do have the book, which is The Book of Eve by Constance Beresford Howe. Somebody at some point recommended this book to me, and I can't remember who recommended it or why they think I'd like it, but someone out there thinks it's a good idea for me to read this book. So when I saw it at the used bookstore for 50 cents, I was like, okay, I'll pick it up and I'll try it. Another challenge is to read a book with a beautiful spine, and I was going to read The Book of Essie by Megan McLean Weir, because I don't know if this is going to pick up on camera, but the spine is kind of holographic and a little bit sparkly, and I like sparkly things, okay? I think it's pretty. But as it turns out, I have no willpower, and I've already read this book, so this one's out. I then was super tempted to pick House of Leaves, because look at that spine. That's a cool looking spine, right? But I'm not that stupid to try to read this book really quickly, so we're not going for that one either. So after all that, I decided to go for 6 Degrees of Freedom by Nicholas Dickner. I think that it's more the cover that I'm into with this one. I really like the cover scheme, I really like the art style, but that carries through to the spine too, and it's a nice looking spine. We'll go for it. So that's 5 books so far, and that's 10 fingers I can count. Another challenge is to read 7 books in total. So 2 extra books to add to my pile are Truth and Bright Water by Thomas King and Irma Voff by Miriam Taves. And then I figured I would use these 2 books for one more challenge, which is to let a coin flip decide my first book. So I have my coin here. We're going to say heads is Truth in Bright Water and tails is Irma Voth. I've never flipped a coin before and I'm uncoordinated, so I don't know how well this is going to go. Oh jeez. Well, it landed on tails. So I guess I'm reading, what did I say? Irma Voth by Marion Taves, I think. That one was tails, right? Okay, so I'm going to read this one first. So there you have my complete BookTube-A-Thon TBR pile featuring my negligible upper body strength. I don't know why I picked such long books. That may be a mistake. I may regret it later, but you know what? I'm going to try, and hopefully I get through a couple of these. I think it'll be fun. I'm excited to read all of these, so that's a good sign at least. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye!